All right. Turn my sound off here. Whoever pops in first, if you could please let me know if you can hear me okay. Hi, Cynthia. Can you hear me? Just trying to get organized here. What's on the agenda today? Is the sound okay? Hi, Diane. Can you hear me okay? You're sewing with me? Awesome. Said this is a pretty fast bag. Thank you everybody for understanding about last week. I had the 24-hour flu. It was a nasty little flu. Oh, do you know what? I have to get my iPad on as well. Give me a moment so I can see the chat at the machine. 1 second here. That's where I want to do it. There we go. Perfect. I'm wearing my camel pants. I'm dressed for comfort today. I was out really late last night. My parents took me to a relive the 1950s and 60s music concert. It was a lot of fun. But I was out till like 11 o'clock at night, and I don't do that very often. Diane, are you sewing with us today? Close that up. So the goal today is to get through one front panel, and then the back panel will be homework. And then we're going to work on getting the whole gusset and bottom together. That'll be today. And then homework will also be to do your lining panels the way you want with your pockets. And then next week we're putting it all together. This bag is so fast as a bound. Bag is so fast. Hey, Diane's sewing with me. Perfect. So last time we had Lexi sewing with us as well, so we'll give it a moment to see if she pops in, or not last week, the week before last. So we'll give it till another 5 minutes or so, see who pops in, and then we'll get started. But if you want to get ready, you can get your connector pieces ready, your connector overlay pieces ready, your corner vinyl overlay pieces ready, your bottom pieces, and your zipper panel pieces. That's what we're going to be doing today. I'm starting to try to write out almost like a class plan now, so I'm not all over the place, and I know exactly where we're going to be, what we need to get done each class. So not too much this class. May or may not take the full 2 hours. We'll see. It was definitely past my bedtime, Cynthia. Plus, I spent all afternoon with my cousin who was in town, in from Langford on Vancouver Island. So it was nice to spend the afternoon with her and her girls. And of course, it was at my parents' place, so which is where I was raised. Same house. Maybe I'll just... one moment here, put a reminder out. Did everybody have a good weekend? All right. Another minute or so and then we're going to get started. Do you guys have all your pieces ready to go? Looks like it might just be the three of us. The other people aren't popping in yet. It's okay. Oh, hey, Dawn, how are you? Look at Dawn and her purple star. Hard to believe it's been 2 years, hey? Dawn, did you decide if you're going to be sewing this one with us? Or are you sewing it with... I see I have you probably going to make it, but not sewing it yet. So hopefully Lexi and Kim were doing this as well. We'll see if they pop in. We'll give them another minute or so. I keep saying that. Oh, hi, Barbara. Barbara, we are making the How You Doin' bowler bag by Sincerely Jen, but we're doing a bound version. Nice that you could join us, Barbara. This is a fast sew as a bound bag. Really, really fast. Holy, can you guys see the ray of sunshine coming in from outside? It is gorgeous here today. There it is. Okay. Okay, what are we looking at for time? Oh, Dawn, we'll get you back in the saddle. Today I was cutting out, I'm doing the Retro Tech sling, the large one for my brother for his birthday. So I'm doing a tutorial on that tomorrow. I got that all cut out today and actually cleaned my sewing room. I don't know if you can see it. My floors are actually clean. I got Dexter down here with me. Hey, Dex. He's sleeping. He's not feeling very good for some reason. I think he ate something bad outside. Barbara, if you were looking at that pattern yesterday, Jenny of Sincerely Jen has a 41% off special right now because it's her birthday. So, but it expires today. So make sure you go and grab that pattern. And it looks like for our May bag, almost 99.9% sure one of our days is going to be the Mr. Heckles bag by Sincerely Jen. So it hasn't been voted in yet, but it's winning by a landslide. So, good plan would be to go grab that today too if you plan on sewing that with us in May, the Mr. Heckles and this one, and you get 41% discount right now because of her birthday. So definitely take advantage. Jenny's patterns are phenomenal. I love them. She is a wonderful human as well. She's such a sweetheart. Alrighty. Let me just get situated. My hoodie feels ginormous on me. I'm swimming in this thing. But it's comfy. Okay, let me just put this down to split table. So I said we're going to get through our bottom pieces, or our gusset pieces. But first we're going to work on our front panel pieces. So first thing we're going to do, we're only going to be doing one side of it, but we will do all of our connectors today just because we can chain sew them really easy. So I'll just set this out of the way. Oh, excellent, Barbara. Okay, so we're going to take our 4 connector pieces. I'm going to find my double-sided tape. So you can use double-sided tape or clips, of course. We have a center line drawn down the center of them. And we're going to go ahead and fold those long edges into that center line for all 4. Now, please stop me if I end up going too fast. You guys will set the pace. I'm just going to keep going unless you tell me to stop. Okay? So I am using 3/4 inch hardware as per the pattern. You got it today, Diane? Perfect. I'm excited to do Mr. Heckles. I'm glad it's gotten voted in. So far, it looks like for May, Mr. Heckles for Thursday, and the Neo Crossbody for the Tuesday. So far is how it's going. So I'm pretty excited for those choices if they win. Alrighty. I got my camera's kind of crooked. Let me just there we go. I changed my view of the camera to hopefully be able to see more of the table. Is it too much? I know my table has so much stuff on it. Or is it a good view? You guys are always my guinea pigs. Oh, there's like a helicopter or something going by overhead. Okay, so now we're going to take these to the machine, all 4, and we are going to top stitch down those folded sides with an 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. Okay. All right. As I step on over Dexter, can you guys hear me at the machine okay? Good view? You can hear me okay? Okay, so I'm going to chain stitch these. I just oiled the machine, so it looks messy. It's just oil. That's my tension. I didn't check it first. I can loosen it just a little. Loosen it just a little bit more. Loud and clear, perfect. Thank you. That was bad. I didn't check my tension before starting, but I think I'm okay. So hard to see black thread on black thread. I think we're okay. Amazing, Dawn. That's super cheap. $7 Canadian. See you soon, Barbara. That's not until May. April, we have the Rosie Sling and the Aries crossbody for our April bags. Hope we'll see you in April, too. All right. Good to go. My table's starting to look really worn out though. Holy moly. Okay. Then what we want to do on the wrong side of these is on the bottom short edge, we want to put just small scraps of double-sided tape. Dexter's being a good boy. He's really not feeling well. I don't know what he got into. He wouldn't eat his breakfast this morning, and he's sleeping all day. He didn't even want a treat. He didn't even perk up when I said treat. Poor babies. Okay, and now we want to get our 4 rectangular rings. slide them onto our connectors and bring the connectors wrong sides together and stick them with that double-sided tape. Now, was anybody doing, yeah, Don, he is doing both number 1 and number 2. He just doesn't want to eat, and he had a little bit of an upset tummy earlier, so maybe he just ate something out in the yard. Maybe he got into the litter box or something. I'm not sure. I'm sure he'll be fine. Is everybody doing like a Decovil Light or an EBFuse Heavy for their stabilizer, or are you doing foam? I did foam in the tutorial, but in the class I am not doing foam because as a bound bag, it just got really, really thick. So yeah, he's drinking, Dawn. He's doing all the normal things. All right. Okay, so you can put 2 of these connectors aside because you will do them for homework. You're gonna need one of your main panels. We're gonna kind of do these all at once. 2 corner connectors. I gotta make sure I got the right ones. And 2 connectors. No foam? Okay. So we're going to work with our vinyl. We're going to put all of this on the bag at once and then take it to the machine and stitch it all at once. So for your vinyl overlays, you want to make sure that you have these situated properly. So they're going to be going in rounded into the center, and you want to make sure you look at your pattern piece and make sure it is the right way. So you're not using the shorter side. What I'm saying is like this. You don't want it to be like this, where the longer side is on the side. You want it to be where the shorter side is on the side and the longer is there. And you can do that with your pattern piece by laying it out. And the words, of course, show which direction it goes and make sure you have it going the right way. So this one will go over here and this one will go over here. So what I do to hold it in place is double-sided tape. Thanks, Don. I just thought I had to do the How You Doin' Bowler bag when it says How You Doin' on here. This is vinyl from Fangirl Fabrics that I bought a few years back. Okay, now because we rounded these edges, this has a pointy edge. That's okay. We will trim that up later. We just want to make sure that this bottom side lines up with this and this side lines up with this side. So place it and stick it down. Same with the opposite side. Line it up. Stick it down. And then because that tape is holding that in place, you can go ahead and you can just trim off the little bit of excess around the corners. So it's the same shape. Okay, so you can take that to the machine and top stitch and baste this, but we have the tape holding it in place, so we may as well get these other connectors in place, and then we can take it to the machine and do it all at the same time. So I need to find my pattern piece. Where'd you go? Where'd you go? Where'd you go? So you're going to need your main pattern piece here, or maybe not. I don't remember. Let me look. Connector piece. And was everybody doing the raw edge connector? If you weren't, you would have had them already prepped by putting your, if you weren't doing a raw edge one like me, by having your Decovil Heavy in the middle, and then you would have folded all along these lines if this were it. All of these in. And it gives you the exact same pattern piece, just with no raw edges. I edge painted mine. I like edge painting. We know this. Okay, actually, I forgot to say first we should find our top and bottom centers as well before we get too far. Okay. So we are on page 5. And we're going to need our erasable pen. And we are going to lay our pattern piece down like so. Make sure it's nice and centered. And we have this little part cut out of our pattern piece, or you should have. And we are just going to trace that shape. And that is going to help us get perfect placement of our connector overlay. That's one. Flip it over and do the opposite side. Can you guys see that? So they're all drawn on there. And then I need my little ruler. And then we want to measure down from that top straight edge of that line we drew, 3/4 of an inch. And draw a line. See that? Same with on the other one. My lines are already disappearing. Can't use my silver pen because it won't show on this material. Okay. Doesn't have to stay there very long. Okay. You're going to take some little pieces of double-sided tape again. Double-sided tape is your friend here. And you aren't really going to be sewing through it, so if your machine's sensitive, you should be fine. On the back side of your connectors, you're going to place that double-sided tape. And then on that 3/4 of an inch line that we did, we want to put this nice and centered. So when I say centered, it's centered in that diamond shape, and make sure where you can see it that from the connector to the edge of the diamond shape that we drew is the same. Oh, I'm good. It's there. So your connector will go above because we're going to end up placing this diamond shape. How does it go? This always trips me out. We're going to end up sticking it like right there in a moment. So do the same with the opposite one. I just eyeball it until it looks centered to me. Leaves about 1/4 of an inch on each side of the connector. Maybe just slightly under. I did it again. Look at me go. Perfect. So it looks like that. Right up against that 3/4 of an inch line. And then with our connectors in the center, put another piece of just a little piece. If your machine is sensitive, make sure it's not going to be in the top stitching area. Onto the back. Now you're probably wondering, oh yeah, we all put Decovil Light on the bottom. It makes, when you have Decovil Light on these too, it makes such a nice edge to edge paint on these. Just gives it a little more thickness. Okay, and then we're going to take this and we are going to line it up with that shape that we just drew. And it should match it just perfectly and straight. Stick it down. Ta-da! Fast, hey? Cute? And this one, I really like making this pattern. I think I will be making a couple of these for market season. We will see. Okay, So that's what that looks like. So now we're going to go to the machine. I'm going to do my connectors first just because I want to make sure that they're not going anywhere. We're going to stitch around the connector overlay all the way around with 1/8 of an inch seam allowance, and that is going to hold that overlay in place for both. And then for these corners, we're going to baste these sides, and then we're going to top stitch along this curvy part. Okay? Fast, hey Dawn, like this is one front panel almost done already. Like it's crazy fast. Okay, so I am going to pull my threads long here to tie off in the back. And stitch around. Make sure your needle is down before you pivot. That goes with the theme too. Pivot. Does it say that on here? Oh, there's no pivot on this fabric. That's too bad. How is my tension? She is good, I think. I'll just loosen it just a smidgen more. Okay, I'm going to quickly pull my top thread through. Come on. Oh, she's a long one. There we go. Now when you get to where the connector is, depending on your machine, you may need a hump jumper. So just have one ready just in case. I don't think I will. I think I'll be okay. So this is why I didn't change to 1-inch hardware with this one, is I would have had to reconfigure this overlay piece, and I didn't want to do that. Okay. So I'm just going to put a piece of scrap vinyl behind here, my walking foot, so it doesn't eat up my vinyl or my hardware. Just hand crank my last few stitches. Needle down in my starting hole. Can't see it. Black thread on black vinyl is the worst. Okay. Tie it off. I think my son has somebody over. I hear voices upstairs. Brady's the only one home, but he's talking, so he's either on his phone or somebody is here. Okay, so that's one connector done. Go do the other one. Same thing again, pulling my threads long. Knee lift is squeaky again. That squeaky sound you hear, that's when you know I'm actually using my knee lift to lift up my walking foot. Oops, I gotta pull those threads through before I go any further. Everybody doing good? I always take great care with my stitching on these connectors just because it is so visible. That's 2 connectors done. Doing good, perfect. You can see I have to tighten my stitches a little bit. Okay, and now I'm going to do my bottom corner overlays now. It's nice with the base because I can check my tension at the same time because those will be hidden here pretty quick. So make sure the tension is good by the time I get to my top stitching, and it is. Perfect. Okay. And then that curvy part, top stitch with an 1/8 of an inch around. And same with the opposite side. Still don't have my needle positioner put on here, Dawn. I've had it for, what, 6 months, not more? I still don't have it on this machine. Oh dear. All right. So that is one panel done. Fast, hey? Fast and easy. That's got your connectors all secured. So for homework for this one, you can put in your rivets in the center of the connectors if you're going to do that, as well as your nameplate, which I put mine right about here. I'm trying to look at that one. Yeah, about 2 inches or so up from my nameplate. Everybody's nameplate is different, but I liked mine right in the middle. You could also do it right in the middle there as well. Up to you. So yeah, if you don't mind doing that for homework, go ahead and do that for homework. Any questions? I have to get on that. I need Dave to do it for me. All right, so we'll give everybody a minute. Let me know if you're all done doing that. I just realized one of my connectors went on a little crooked, but I don't think it's going to matter too much. I think it'll be okay. It must have shifted. We'll make this one my back one. It's just a little bit off kilter. Give everybody a couple minutes to get to there, and then we will start on the gusset piece. Maybe it's not off kilter. My eyes are playing tricks on me today. That's fine. It's fine. I think my eyes are just playing tricks on me. The way the shape of that connector just kind of, for some reason, it trips me up a little bit. I don't know why. It looked okay though. My connector looks like it pivoted a little. All right, I'll just wait for Diana and Cynthia to give me a thumbs up, and then we will continue on. This bag is so stress-free. Look, my camera shifted too. You can see, I changed the angles of all my cameras, so now you can actually see my window here, and then all of my signs and everything that I have sitting on my window ledge. I made it so it kind of goes out, so you can kind of see more the size of the room too, I guess, rather than being zoomed in so much. Diana's good to go. Okay, we'll just wait for Cynthia. And we're doing nothing new with this that we usually, like, we've done this kind of stuff before. It's all very similar. Cynthia's good. Perfect. Okay. So now we're going to work on our zipper panel. So we do need our lining pieces and our exterior pieces for this, as well as our zipper tape. So what I like to do for these is we're going to be doing it along the straight edge. Before I put my zipper pulls on, I like to just use this piece as a guide for how long I need to cut this. And I like to do it just a little bit longer so I can put my zipper pulls out of the way while we sew it together. So I'm going to cut mine right about there-ish. And then I'm going to go ahead and put my 2 zipper pulls on. Whoops. Okay. Where is my fork? There it is. Just kind of move the camera so you can see how I put this on with my fork. I'm too cheap to buy a zipper jig. This fork works perfectly fine. I'm not talented to be able just to put them on the end. If you can do that, that's a superpower. All right. Okay. So then I'm going to just take a Wonder clip and put it on the end of my zipper here and put my zipper pulls right to that, and then that clip will make it so they don't fly off. Okay, so I'm going to use double-sided tape. You can definitely use clips on my lining piece along that straight edge. Look at my edge isn't very straight. What the heck, Brandy? I had some funky cutting going on there now, didn't I? Oh no, that's my curved edge. I still had some funky cutting going on there. Let me straighten that out. I don't know. Doesn't matter. It'll all come out the same in the wash. Okay, so along the straight edge of a lining one, you're going to take some double-sided tape. It's right side up. Again, you can use clips and put it along that top. And then we're going to take our zipper, also right side up with our holes hanging over the side here. This one you can have a little bit of hangover as well. And stick it down right side up on top of that lining piece. Along that straight edge, make sure you are using the straight edge. And then take your exterior piece along the straight edge. More tape, more clips. And then you're going to put this nice and even right sides together, making sure the lining in the exterior panels match up. And stick it down, sandwiching that tape with the exterior piece right side down. So the lining piece is right side up and the exterior is right side down and the zipper is right side up. And I just got to double check what seam allowance we're going with this. I do not remember. So we are on page 6. We are going with a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. So we're going to go, I'm going to put my zipper foot on. We're going to go through there with a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. You want to get the seam allowance accurate so it ends up being the same width as our other pieces when we go to create this gusset. Where is my, oh there it is. Okay. Whoa, losing a foot onto the magnet. Then we want to press these wrong sides together so you can finger press it if you like. Because I am using vinyls and canvases, I'm going to use double-sided tape to help me hold that in place. What the heck is that? Oh. Or you can press it if you're using materials that won't melt. But I love me some double-sided tape. You do whatever works for your machine. Got a weird part of my tape there. It's like it started a whole new section in the middle of my roll. Bizarre. I do like using the tape to baste it that way just because you can push it so nice and tight away from those zipper teeth and it will hold well. Looks like I did it nice and straight, which is good. And same with on the lining side. And pull it nice and tight, and this should line up that raw edge somewhat close. It's a little off, no big deal. You can trim it. Okay. I'm just going to clip those edges together, the raw edges, because we're going to top stitch along the zipper tape. And then we are going to baste the 3 raw edges together. Now you can see how my exterior is just a little bit past my lining. That's okay because we're going to catch that in our base and when we go to sew it in. It just means that something shrunk or something got cut too big or too small, but it'll all come out the same because it's only like 1/8 of an inch. It'll be fine. It'll be caught in the same spots. I can see why it's my line. I can see my drawing line there. I just didn't cut very good along it. There we go. Okay. So we're going to baste, oopsies, baste along the 3 short sides and top stitch across the top by the zipper. Okay, and then top stitch across the zipper. Okay. So that is one side done. We're going to go ahead and do the exact same thing with the opposite side. Rinse and repeat. Oopsies. But make sure they're lining up. Sometimes it's easier to do it like this so you can see the lining side. To make sure you're actually lining it up even. To adjust right there. There we go. You like the red? Goes good because the umbrellas in the fabric are red. Well, I guess they're red, yellow, and blue, but there's a lobster that's red. I figured the red was the good thing. Oh, Coco says hi. She's actually not eating either. I don't know what's going on with my dogs. Maybe they caught my flu. Okay, let's go do this. I'm bringing my tape over here with me because I'm just going to do all of this at the machine rather than going back to the table. Oops, throwing stuff on the floor. Yeah, hopefully just a 24-hour bug, or maybe because spring is here, maybe they don't feel they need to eat as much. Coco's looking like a sausage right now. She's a little, she's not going to waste away anytime soon. I actually have her shots on Friday, so if she's not feeling well and he's not feeling well, maybe I'll take him with me and when I see the vet. So. Push that away. I think Brady's doing something in his room right above me. He must be cleaning or something. I hear lots of swishing. That could be the broom. Don't know if you guys can hear that or not. But if so, that's what that is. Okay. Pretty stress-free bag so far, hey? It's pretty easy. So the rest of the instructions are, we're not going to really follow the pattern because we are doing it completely different because we are doing it as a bound bag. I mean, even this part is different because I believe this is a drop-in lining originally, so. The only thing we're not doing that's in the pattern is the piping, because I find piping is hard when you do binding, especially for thickness, especially if you do vinyl piping. It's not impossible. Oops, I ran out of thread. Darn you, bobbin. And look at my sign. It says not today, bobbin, but it did it to me. But yeah, I figured the way the binding goes, it almost looks like there's a faux piping on it, just from how it gives a nice thick edge of the gusset here. So. Good boy, because he's cleaning his room. Well, he is turning 23 on Saturday, so he should be able to keep his room somewhat tidy. Okay. Do this again. Oh, I was going to clip it again. I think I'll be fine. At least I ran out of bobbin on the base and not on the top stitch, so that's good. Okay, and then I will hold up once I'm done this, and Diane and Cynthia, if you can let me know when you're done your zipper panel, then we will move on to the next. Oh, something sounds weird on my, oh, my bobbin's caught up. What is going on, bobbin? Darn it. The heck? It got tangled in there. Man, I tell ya. That'll teach me for cursing my bobbin. Never like it when it makes that sound in the machine. Looks like there was a tangle in the winding of the bobbin. That's okay. Except for that was on the top stitch. Close to the end though, so that's okay. Could have been worse. Right there. I have a little bit of a back stitch in my top stitch. I could have pulled it through, I guess, but I want to make sure it doesn't come out. It'll be fine. Threads are bizarre. All right. Okay. Okay, so let me know when you're all done your zipper panel, and then we will move to the next step. It's Riley, 1 second. I'm in class. That's okay, what do you need? Yeah, and were you going to look for the pasta salad? Okay. Okie dokie. Okay, bye. He's picking up the sides for burgers tonight, as well as the toppings and everything for us. Cynthia's done. Perfect. Now, were you wanting to put purse feet on your bag? I don't think there's purse feet in the pattern. Actually put purse feet on the other one, and the way it curved up, the purse feet kind of looked a little bit odd. Like on one side, the purse feet don't even really touch very well. So I think I'm just going to skip purse feet. It's pick up your foot. Yeah, that's my ringer. It says your son is calling you. You want to do purse feet? I'll show you what I mean. I mean, we can do them. So purse feet aren't in the pattern, but I did do them on this one. But see how it curves? So when the purse feet sit there, sitting against it, I don't know. Oh no. So do you want to do purse feet, Cynthia? We can do them. Let's do them. We'll do the purse feet. We have to do them now before we move on, so. Oh no, Diane, your machine's giving. No, it does look, it looks a little odd on mine. So shall we just skip it? There's no purse feet in the pattern on that one. I decided to just put them on, but I myself don't really like where it looks, because of how it's bowler and it's kind of rounded, it didn't actually, I don't know if it was my placement, but I think if I went too much more in, that would look funny. So, okay, so let's skip the purse feet. If you want to do purse feet, I did do them in the tutorial, and I do tell you whereabouts I put them. So, okay. So first off, you can now bring your zipper pulls into the center of your zipper panel, and you can trim up your zipper tape. And then we can set this aside for now. Okay. So next, we're going to be repeating it with our lining as well. So we'll do these simultaneously. So you should have, look at all my cutting. This is so terrible. Okay. So you can see how our gusset pieces fit this way. Now, another thing we could have done is we could have added a seam allowance in there and cut this all as one piece. That would have reduced some bulk that happens in the sides there. I had no problems with the bulk myself, but if that's an issue, you could do that. So I'm just going to lie these out the way they are going to go, like so. So these are my, but you can see I melted my vinyl a little bit there. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Okay, so I just want to make sure we get the right seam allowance. So we're doing this a little bit different than the pattern, of course. Just got to figure out what seam allowance we were sewing these on with for the bottom. Bear with me for a moment. 1/2 inch. Okay, so along that long side, we're going to put these right sides together. We're going to do all of these at the same time at the machine. Same with this one, right sides together. Same with this one. And I think we're going to try something different with the seams on this one to help reduce that bulk. We're going to do a little extra top stitching. I'll show you when we get there. I didn't do it on the other bag, but let me show you on this bag. Whoopsies. Right where, this is the seam we're sewing right now, and it goes right onto the corners, but that gets, like when we go to bind it, it gets really thick there. So originally I had pushed my seam towards the bottom panel and top stitched through the bottom panel. I think what we're going to do today is we are going to open up the seam and top stitch the seam on either side to hold that seam open. And I think that is going to give us a lot less bulk in these corners. Are you guys good to try that with me? And then we'll have an extra decorative top stitching, which will look nice. I just think it's really going to help reduce some of that thickness when we go to bind it. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we are going to sew down all of these with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. So 1/2 inch seam allowance. We're using the pattern seam allowance now for this. Very important that we get these seam allowances right so our gusset fits properly. I got my 1/2 inch? Yes, I am. Okay, good. Actually, we're going to go seam by seam. So once you've done one seam, we're going to open up that seam and give it a really, really good finger press open. So your seam is open like that. And then we're going to go ahead
making sure it's staying open. We're going to top stitch through the bottom as well as through the side on either side of that seam to hold it open. I do think it's really going to help. Only one way to find out. Hey, Dexter. So that's top stitched on one side of that seam. Make sure it's still open. And now I'm going to go down the other side of that seam. I just think it's going to help us ease it around that corner too without having that really thick area along the bottom. So that's what it looks like on the bottom. And can you guys see that, the top stitching? So we're going to continue that with the other three sides. What are you chewing on, Dexter? Do you know what I'm wondering, Dawn, about Dexter? Is because he tore apart all of those toys. If he ate a squeaker or if he ate some of the foam that was in them, the fluff, that might make his tummy upset too. I betcha. Because he killed a lot of toys this weekend. Okay, so I'm opening up that seam. Right now he's bathing himself in an area that we do not need to see, if you hear that. He demolished the Costco Kong. Yep. It was not your typical Kong. It was easy to destroy, and I did take it away from him when I noticed he got through it, but I'm sure he'll be fine. Okay, so that's the exterior done. Now for the lining. Same thing. Dexter, what are you doing? Little worried about my puppy. Now for my lining, I'm not going to top stitch it because it's easy enough when we go to put this together that I can open up that seam, and I'll probably just do that with my hands just because I don't want to have a black line of top stitching through this, or I will go ahead and I will press that for homework. So but yes, we'll want that seam open, but I'm not going to top stitch it like I did with the vinyl here. I'm just going to use some double-sided tape there or what have you to open up that seam. Okay. Okay, let's see if he wants to go upstairs. Come on, Dexter, upstairs, go upstairs. Are you okay?
definitely doesn't want to leave me. Okay, so I'm actually just going to hold those open with some double-sided tape. Again, you can definitely have stitched them if you wanted to. I just really didn't want a line of black top stitching, and I didn't want to change my thing over. So as long as the seam is open, you should be good. And my iron's not heated up, so this will be fine. Coco says hi. We also had him out at the park yesterday, and it was hot, and maybe he got a little overheated too. I don't know. I'll just watch him. He'll be fine. I'm sure of it. Okay. Are we ready for the final step? Are you ready to go, Cynthia? So this is what we should have. Moment of truth is coming up. See how accurately we got our seam allowances. So let me know when your bottoms are done, and then we'll move on. You're done. Perfect. Okay. So now we're going to finish our gusset. So what we want to do is we're going to take our exterior and we're going to put it right sides together with our zipper panel. If we got our seam allowances right, they should be pretty even, and mine almost are. It's a little bit off. That's okay. So I'm just going to find my center of the top of my gusset. On each side. Okay. And that center mark, we want to be nice and center with the zipper there. And lay it down. And you can see, I'm not bad. I might have to trim a little bit off. If you trim a little bit off, that is fine. Just make sure it's nice and centered on there. Right sides together. Put a few clips. Then you're going to take your lining and put it right sides together with the lining side. Line it up and add it into the clips. And then I'm going to check seam allowances for this. I believe it's a 1/2 inch. Okay, so we're going to sew through that with the 1/2 inch seam allowance. And then while we're at the machine, we're going to bring our lining and our exteriors wrong sides together, and we're going to top stitch through all of them through this part here. All right. Oops, I'm leaving you in the dark, sorry.
So 1/2 inch seam allowance here too. You can actually change into your standard foot again if you want. I'm going to just do that quickly. bring those wrong sides together and then top stitch. So again, wrong sides together, put them nice and tight, and top stitch. Oh, I matched up. This is good. I might have to trim a little bit. I'll show you what I mean here momentarily. Not the end of the world. That's one thing about binding, is it is really forgiving. Okay, and top stitch. Oop, something just went off the other side of the table, probably a clip.
Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. You can see how my zipper gusset and my gusset don't line up. That could be because I took my seam too tight here, or I didn't cut even enough, but that's okay, because all we're going to do is kind of follow the length, like the shape of this piece, and trim it so it goes kind of along there and with the shape of the gusset, just like that. Just like that. I maybe took off 1/8 of an inch, and now it's how it needs to be. Okay, so now we want to do the same with the opposite side, which is a little trickier. You want to undo your zipper somewhat, but be careful because we haven't put anything to make that zipper pull not fly off there. That'll happen here momentarily. We're going to bring our exteriors, right sides together. Make sure your center mark is lined up with your zipper. And the reason we make sure that center mark is with our center zipper is if your cutting or your stitches were off, at least if you have to trim it, it is nice and centered. So you're trimming it evenly on both sides. Excuse me. Too much singing last night at that concert. I think I'm losing my voice. It was an awesome concert. Okay. Now we want to bring the lining side up, and you kind of got to squish everything in the middle and bring it up to match. Okay, and then we're going to sew through that with a 1/2 inch, and we're going to bring the exteriors or the wrong sides together again, and then within the loop we're going to go ahead and top stitch along there.
Diane, how's your machine? Is it okay? Okay, and then I'm going to kind of maneuver these wrong sides together. Like so, kind of looks like a hot mess, but that's okay. And then top stitch through there.
Okay, so it happened to get on this side, so I'm just going to go ahead and trim them up. So I must have taken my zipper seam allowance a little bit too close. My last bag it didn't happen with, but this one it does. But seriously, that is all I'm cutting off, like barely anything. And then what we want to do is we want to flip this around, wrong sides together. So we're making one big loop. And they should fit perfectly within each other. So this seam here where we top stitched on one side, make sure both of them are flared open, match up that seam. And we're going to start bringing those raw edges together to prepare for basting. Holy Coco, I don't even know what she's barking at now. Double-sided tape does not like to stick to waterproof canvas for a long period of time. Oh, I know, Riley's home. So yes, if we did everything right, and we have accurate seam allowances, we should all come together. Now for this part, you may have to kind of, because we've got that Decovil Heavy piece in there, kind of pull it and straighten it out. And that fabric should go around perfectly. Same with the other side. If you didn't stitch your lining open, make sure you are pressing it open here, matching up that seam. That's definitely giving us a lot less thickness there, so I think it'll go around that corner much better this time around. Oh my goodness, Coco. Diane, did you get your machine figured out? Have we lost you? And she fits perfect. Okay, and then we're going to go baste where we have clipped with an 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch seam allowance.
Seam allowance. All right. Is that flared open okay in there? What are we doing? My seam did not stay open all the way through, so I'm going to just kind of, there we go. Okay. It's okay? Good. Your machine must have heard my machine have a temper tantrum. Are you on your 1541 or your 1341, Diane? Hey, now that you got the two machines, like me, if one breaks, you can always use the other one. I prefer my 1541, but the 1341 definitely has its benefits for some things, like top stitching. That's one side done. Now, why did I not go all the way to the end there? Silly Brandy. There you go. You on your 1541? Alrighty.
All right, so we have a big loop. I'm just going to double check. I'm pretty sure it's going to reach all the way around this thing. Yeah, it will. Okay, so now all we have left to do with this piece is find our top and bottom centers. So what we're going to do is the seam where the zipper matches up with the gusset, we're going to bring that seam together. I'm going to pull this nice and tight, and that'll give us our bottom center. Make a snip. Do the same again, same side. Bring it up along the zipper panel, nice and tight, and that'll give us our top center. I'm going to go ahead and do it same with the opposite side. Okay, and then we want to bring that top center and the bottom center together and do the same thing through the sides, and that is going to give us our quarter section. I can't remember if we need quarter sections, but we may as well mark them anyways. You know, I like to work in quarter sections. And snip. Same with the opposite way. Match up the top and bottom centers. Pull it nice and tight along the side. Same with the opposite side. Quarter section. And quarter section. And that is it for this class. So definitely go ahead, finish up your other panel, put on your rivets, put on your nameplate. Do your lining pockets the way you want to do them. You can close up your zipper pocket because we won't be turning anything through there. I'm doing mine with an overlay, of course. I can't remember if I was, oh, and I am also going to do a slip pocket in mine. So do the linings that you do. I do mine different than in the pattern. You guys know how I do my linings. If you need classes on those, they're down below, or I can always walk you through them outside of class. Just give me a holler and we can go. But I know that those sewing with me already know how to do it. So, and that's it for homework. Easy, easy peasy. Any questions at all? Next class probably will only be an hour or so. It's not going to take very long to finish this off, if everybody gets their homework done. Any questions, comments, or concerns? All right, now everybody can concentrate on their Thursday homework for the desk style. We have a lot more homework there than we did for this one. So thank you everybody for coming and so along with me. I appreciate you. Again, reach out to me if you need any help, whether you're watching this after the fact and not live. You can always reach out to me if you're seeing this video. Anyways, time went fast. Yes, it's already been an hour and a half, so we finished half hour early. All right, everybody, have a great night, and I will see most of you on Thursday. Good night. Bye.